Yeah, no, London's done a real nice job, and I think one of the keys in us playing better basketball is our turnovers as a team have dropped, and that's never been an issue with him, but I think everybody's handling the ball, but I think it's collectively the guys are screening better to get guys open, guys are sharing the ball, and London, you know, kind of being that lead guard, controls a lot of things, and those baskets he'll get for our big guys sometimes where he makes those passes that he just gets guys easy buckets are significant, because it's like an offensive rebound or getting to the free throw line. Those are the extra points that your offense, your half-court offense doesn't have to create. But when he creates those, whether it's in transition to half court, you just you feel good about that. And he had a few of those against Notre Dame, and he's, again, very steady for mature beyond his years.
And do you think it's helped Malcolm that London's playing that lead guard and it lets Malcolm play the other guard position? Because Malcolm's playing great too.
I think it's helped everybody. And you know, in our system, I've said it many times, really all the perimeter players, they all have to play with the ball in their hands and make decisions, use ball screens. And they all have to play without the ball, move without the ball, catch square, shoot, and make passes. So it's kind of a complementary thing. It's kind of more who brings the ball up. And yes, London is handling it more, and it allows Malcolm to focus on a few more things. But I like complete guards, and I think that's what Malcolm's showing. Joe, Justin, London, all the guys that are getting in there, and not to leave anybody out, but the ability to play with and without the ball has been significant. And then, you know, London, it allows to – I think having London and Malcolm on the floor at the same time, you have two, you know, point combo guards, ball handlers, and that helps the offense.
Thing right now?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of have a formula. I mean, we work. We do. You have to be mindful of the time, and it depends how many days you have to prep for a team. You know, we always say being physically and mentally fresh are real important at this stage of the year as you get into it. But I think that's been good, how competitive practices have been and intense that they've been. I think that you get to this stage and if you're staying still, you're probably losing ground, and the ability to really challenge yourself defensively. And I give a lot of credit. I really do. The three guys that have probably been affected the most, we've shortened our rotation and haven't played as much, are Evan and Tevin and Darion. Though they give us great lifts in short stints, those guys in practice have been really good. Like at times they'll run the scout team and they get reps on both teams, but they're really making it competitive. And I can't, as a coach, that's not coaches speak. That means a lot because you're going against high-quality players, and they're forcing us to be sharp in practice. And when we're not, they make us look bad. And and at times we split teams. It's competitive, and the guys are purposeful. And, you know, every week's a test. You have success, and will you still stay as hungry as you need to be? Because if you don't, anybody in this league is capable either way. And that's always a real place and a humbling place to be. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of tests we've had. You know, I think you can go through the list and look at them and see, but this will be a very tough opponent who plays the game hard. They're good defensively. I've heard him say many times about them, it's 1 through 5. They're one of the best passing teams. They share the ball. I wouldn't say it's a mirror image of us. In some ways it may be, but they're real good, and obviously their prowess at home goes without saying. So we'll have to be ready. We'll have to take what we do, play it at a high level, and you know, the guys should be excited to go in there and see what can happen.
Challenges.
They don't beat themselves. They're athletic. They're physical. They're strong. Again, they share the ball. They're a complete team on both ends of the floor, and that's I think the good teams, the teams that are playing good ball right now, are the teams that are not beating themselves, and that's one. I mean, Duke beat them. They didn't lose to Duke. That kid hit 5 or 6. Dawkins hit, right, Andre, right? 6 or 7. Andre Dawkins hit 6 or 7 from 3. You looked at the shots Duke made. Pitt played a good ball game, and it was tight until the 5 or 6 minute mark. They're playing at a very high level. I saw what they did to Clemson, who I think is a real talented team with their defense, and beat them by 30 there. They're a high level team, certainly one of the best in our league, and they've come from a tough league. That's a blue collar town. That's where my father grew up, in that area, and there's those people there appreciate hard-nosed blue-collar basketball, and that's what that team is built on. I know on TV it appears to be a very loud, intimidating environment. I've been there for some AAU events, and it was very relaxing when I was there. For those, there was no one in the stands, but from everything I've heard, and then how well they're playing, and you see the students bouncing around the court, it looks like a tremendous home court advantage, which when teams are playing well, that's the way it should be. So you'll have to, again, when you go on the road, you have to have even more of an edge than you do at home, because that home crowd lifts you. We've been the benefactors of that with our home crowd, and it seems like it's talked about, and it appears to be quite an atmosphere. I mean, we focus so much on the quality of each possession, and to me, that's the mindset. If you can have the quality in each possession, that's always the key. But we've been fortunate to play stretches of good enough ball where there's been a little bit of separation at the end. But you're going to have to play well to be in this one, and execution and being who you are, not becoming someone different. Just because you've had some success, you don't become someone different on the road in close games. But that's where the little things matter. We talk about not beating yourself, taking care of the ball, getting good shots, making the other team earn. That stuff matters down the stretch of close games. Hard to say. I mean, early I think there was such projection that they were going to be good, and I'm not saying we were overconfident, but nothing comes easy. And I think identity might be the better word. I don't know. We were searching a little bit early how we had to play, who we were, the style of basketball, and even searching with new faces, the rotation and everybody getting used to each other in roles. And I think that has settled in more as the season's progressed. And then, being thoroughly outplayed by Tennessee, losing some tough games early, those things reveal what you need to know. And then, your players have to be strong enough to make those adjustments and improve, and they have been. And I think we've become a little more of I've said it before, a coach-led team, or when your coaches are leading the team, you can be solid, but player-led teams are better. And I think I'm seeing Joe and Akil as seniors realizing this is our time, and it's our time to lead, and it's their team. And I see them, even not just them, other guys in practice. Practice has been more competitive, trying to hold each other accountable. And that just has to stay there. That's what the better teams do, and hopefully we're evolving into that more and more.
Throughout the season?
I think it did, and then after the Tennessee game, I think it just, not that you always play hard, you think you're prepared, but some adjustments came, and then I think the guy said, it's going to take everything, and we can't assume if we're not sharp, if we're not doing the little things well, this is going to be a real difficult year. And I think the guys got that, and again, just because we're doing that doesn't guarantee success, but it guarantees you the chance for success, and that's all you can ask for. We were fortunate. He always had a desire to want to play on the East Coast. I think when he was a 9th grader or 10th grader, you'll have to ask him, but he went to either a Syracuse or a BC game. I know Boston College was recruiting him Syracuse, and he always was fascinated with coming and playing. And then the ACC with its draw of the teams in the league were important. So when we started recruiting him, he wasn't worried about, I'm going to be across the country. He was more excited about it, so that helped. And the thing that drew us to him, there's actually a former, when I was at Washington State, I think it was either the place kicker or the punter, Nico Grasso was his name, said, "I've watched your teams play at Washington State, Coach," and called and said, "This is the kind of player that you had great success with at Washington State." And then there was a scouting service guy who told Coach McKay about him. So, you have your feelers out there. But when you watch him, you ask the thing I like a lot about him, it's what you guys like about him, his feel. He has natural feel. He has a calmness about him, but he has a great understanding and feel for the game, and that makes a big difference.